Welcome to the Mentor Studio, where today's thought leaders and leading entrepreneurs inspire and bring real-world ideas that help you take your career to levels you've only dreamed of. Now buckle in. Here's your host, Michael Silvers.
Well, welcome everybody to the Mentor Studio podcast. I feel like I've said this a couple times today.
It's just a few today.
And no, I don't sit still. So if you do watch the video part, if we ever put that up, no, I'm moving around the whole time. My name is Michael Silvers with the Mentor Studio. My co-host on the show today is Dawna Campbell. Give Dawna a big round of applause.
Hello.
Awesome. Dawna Campbell is one of the lead trainers for the Mentor Studio. She also has her own incredible, abundant career life. She lives in a beautiful place. And if you want to know more about her, I'm telling you, you can just text the word. Is it abundance, Dawna? Is that the word?
Abundance. Yes.
Abundance to 267-860 if you're in the U.S. Text abundance to 267-860, and you should see what she's creating. It is truly about being abundant. But she's also dealt with $500 million of people's money, so she knows what she's doing. And she's also done healing around the world. So today on our show, we have an amazing gentleman at the Mentor Studio. And if you want to know more about the Mentor Studio, we'll tell you all about that at the end, everybody. Our wonderful guest today, see, I settled myself down, is Mr. Kevin Parker. CEO of True Warrior, motivational speaker, international best-selling author of Winning Against All Odds, transformational success coach that helps good men become great, recovery advocate, one-legged warrior. Let's give it up for Kevin.
Yes.
Awesome. Kevin,
yay.
welcome. And he's also, a lot of us, I'm over at Power Team. I'm a VP over there. And so Kevin, I think we're all Rainmaker grads are going to be this year. So it's really awesome. That's a 2.5 day business course, which is just the best thing on the planet. We'll talk about that one day. We'll have the creator, Mr. Bill Walsh, on the show. So, Kevin, the audience always loves to know, it's a little bit about you. So it's just a little bit about your background always helps them before we sort of dive into the meat.
Okay, well, I'll give you a 2-minute rundown.
Perfect.
As a young kid, I dealt with a lot of traumas. The way that I dealt with it was addiction. I got addicted to drugs. It kind of destroyed my life as a young kid. And at 25 years old, I was homeless. I ended up overdosing and ended up in a coma. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I ended up losing my leg, but it was always a constant reminder of where I came from. And from that point on, I became a self-development junkie. Started picking up every book that I can find, getting every certification, became a speaker, a coach, author, and I've been impacting many, many lives since I started this journey.
And as you impact those lives really on this journey, the thing that also helps us is as you were going through that, what is something that you either read or listened to, a book, a tape, a book on, now I'm dating myself, a podcast, what is something or a mentor around you that helped you through that and kept you moving forward?
Well, I'll give you 3 quick answers from that. A book that I read in the time that I was dealing with that was The Secret, The Law of Attraction. Mm-hmm. That really gave me a lot of hope and inspiration. A quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it switched my whole perception around and helped me turn my biggest weaknesses into my biggest strengths. And as far as mentors, I have so many mentors. I have a spiritual mentor. I have a business mentor. I have a relationship mentor. I have many people in my lives. I have a mastermind around me. So it's kind of hard to give credit to one person, but I truly believe in masterminds and having people that are specialized knowledge experts in your life that you can turn to when you need advice.
Wow. Now, I know that I've gotten to know you a little bit because we met at some of the different events that we've been together on, and you have such a fascinating story to share. I know you gave a little bit of that, but I want to know a little bit more. What were some of the things in your life that led you down that path to addiction and I'm going to say drug use and all of those different elements that happened, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Well, it was one main particular thing that stands to my mind. As a young kid, that really puts an imprint on who you become as an adult. And at 2 years old, my mother moved me in with my stepfather. He had 2 sons. One was my age. Unfortunately, he got attacked by a wolf. It completely mutilated his face, ripped off his scalp. It even took one of his ears. And this is a trauma that nobody should go through, no less a 2-year-old. But me coming in as a perfect little boy, he was very envious and he hated me, thought I was the enemy. So he never missed an opportunity to physically, mentally, or emotionally abuse me. And I felt like I didn't belong, that I didn't or wasn't loved, and I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. And at a very early age, I was suicidal. I thought life was hell. I didn't have anything to believe in. And as soon as I found drugs, that was my escape.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. Now, obviously, you've overcame all of these obstacles that were in your life. So, what are 3 really great tips or things that you learned along the way that you can pass along to somebody else that might have something similar?
Well, one thing that I really live by is every day is either a blessing or a lesson. And lessons are blessings. So every single day you go through is a blessing. There's either some kind of gold nugget or some kind of piece of information you need for character growth, or you just had an amazing day and a memorable time. Another thing is you are who your friends are. You are the culmination of the 5 people you hang out with the most.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a winner, hang out with winners. If you want to be successful, hang out with successful people. Find the people that you want to be. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So whatever you put out, you're going to attract. And I try to put out as many positive vibes and be a help to people and be a mentor. And I attract that into my life as well.
Wow. Truly, truly amazing. Michael?
Yeah. If you were to start, for yourself, I was just thinking, if you were to start, let's say I'm a new entrepreneur, right? And I've started this journey. So you have a very powerful story. You have a life-changing event that truly happened, and so let's say though that I'm somebody working with you, or I found you online, or I looked at your stuff, and I haven't had, in my perception, that big powerful moment, but I know I need to make some kind of change to be an entrepreneur, or I want to do something different so I have more time with my family. What are 3 things you could advise that I could do right now if I'm listening to this podcast that I could put into action this week?
Well, one thing, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to have self-discipline. So create a morning routine and a night routine. I call it bookending your days, because those are the 2 times in the day that you have complete control. So start a routine, get a regimen, and start a system, because patterns and habits create success. And if you don't have any structure, you're going to be lost. The biggest thing that I had struggling with as a entrepreneur was you're your own boss. So nobody's pushing you. If you don't have a direct mission and a goal, you don't know where you're going. You're frolicking in the wind. And one thing that I find is really important is having a mission and a strong enough reason why. So when the bad days happen, you don't quit. You need a bulletproof reason why to get through those days, because it's not going to be easy every single day. It's going to be difficult. You're going to want to quit, but you got to do something that's passion. You got to find the reason that sets your soul on fire and go after it.
Those are all really great. And I think it leads into some of the things that you may have learned or have been with other people. Because earlier you mentioned having mentors. You have a mentor for everything. You have a spiritual mentor, you have a business mentor, and of course we're here at the Mentor Studio.
Yes.
So what kind of impact has mentors made in your life, and how have they helped you?
Mentors have been the single most important, valuable resource in my life. Mentors will cut years, if not decades, of trial and error out of your life. Mm-hmm. You want to model what they did, take their advice, so you don't fall on the same stumbling blocks that they went over time and time again. You get to leverage their expertise and jump light years ahead of what your knowledge is in your current state. And I know that I know that I don't know stuff, but I do know a guy that knows how to do it. So a mentor gives you that specialized knowledge to really propel you in the right direction. It gives you a library of information that you would never know on your own self. You'll have to read hundreds of books, and there's nothing like life experience. You could read it in a book, but your mentor has experienced it. So if you have somebody in your life like that, it is such a powerful leverage tool. I highly suggest everybody having a mentor, because it's the most powerful thing that you can ever have.
It is true. And there's that tendency of, we either come from the attitude of we know it already, so we don't ask, right? Or we come from the attitude, there's the belief that I'm not worthy enough, or I'm not, that person would never talk to me. And it's the funniest thing, because people in the mentor position typically have more time than you ever would know, but you have the fear of asking or thinking, I know that. And anytime you're in a course, right, or you learn something, it's always coming into it saying, I don't know. I'm going to come in as an open book. And I'm going to see what in my life, or what changes that can be written from what I learned. And I think that really makes a big difference in what you're doing. Now, with what you're doing and what you're creating, obviously getting out there and mentoring, and you're going to be on stages and all the ways that you're going to make a difference in people's lives. How is, first of all, a way that people can connect with you?
Well, you can text the word warrior to 55312. That's warrior to 55312. Has all my contact information, a free copy of my best-selling book, and anything that you need to know about me. Or you can visit my website, truewarriorsuccess.com, or just look me up on social media. I'm very easy to find.
Awesome. It's the greatest thing, because it makes it right. You want to, by the way, everybody out there, if you're building a business, starting a business, make it easy for people to find. Make it easy, right? If you're because basically 2 clicks and I'm off anyways. And text opt-ins are huge, because there's a 90% response rate on text opt-ins. It's simple, it's easy. I can see if I want to deal with it or not. And it's a great way to drip information on them. And we'll do a show all on that and talk about that too. But so Kevin, where are you off to next, or what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on 2 seminars that I'm really passionate about. One is called True Warrior Success. It helps train good men to be great. And it's a deep dive immersion training for a weekend to help men step into their masculine energy, into their power, to be mission-based, focused, and driven, and be the provider, protector, and decisive, confident man that they're supposed to be. I think we're lacking that in society. And another thing I'm really passionate about is I'm doing a relationship repair and recovery seminar. It's for couples in recovery, because a lot of people just deal with the addicts. No people really deal with the relationship aspect, with the enabler, and also the relationship component to it. So it's a culmination of a relationship seminar and an addiction therapy treatment seminar type thing. But it's all has NLP, CBT. This my partner's Dr. Callie Estes. She's the Addictions Academy CEO, and she's a therapist, and she's been in the recovery field for like 30 years. She's incredible. So between me and her, we have a really 1-2 pack punch, and I'm really excited to roll that out, because I haven't seen that anywhere, and I think it's a really important need, because people don't understand the dynamic of that toxic relationship when you love somebody that's addicted, or that you're the addict and you have somebody that's enabling you, and the trauma that goes with it, and the unforgiveness, and the boundaries that don't need to be set. There's a lot of issues, and I'm really excited to roll that out and really start impacting people's lives.
Wow. All of those things. I mean, if there was a pathway to success, it seems like you've been hitting every single one of those marks and covering everything around in an entire full spectrum, because you're not meant to do it alone. You're meant to do it with other people, or to have a team. And oftentimes I think with partners and people in relationships and couples, that other person is overlooked, and that's the other person's advocate, is their support person in that. I want to change the focus here a little bit, just for a moment. Work aside things, what is one quirky, funny thing we wouldn't know about you?
I can scratch my back with my foot.
Okay.
I have a prosthetic leg.
So you can take it off and actually.
That was good.
I get half price pedicures. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, Dawna, did you?
Oh,
no, I did not.
I actually used to be a righty, but when I was in the hospital, I lost all feeling in this hand, and I was supposed to never be able to move it again. So I learned how to do everything with my left hand. So I went from right-handed to left-handed, and now I'm kind of ambidextrous, but I'm more left-handed. Interesting.
Wow.
That is actually interesting. Have you, with that, because that's that, it's amazing what the brain can do and what we can do and how we can adapt and how that goes. But is there anything that you can perceive that it's different now that you've actually sort of flipped the switch?
Well, my handwriting's sloppier.
Well, then I better switch soon because mine's terrible. So it get worse, then forget it.
Yeah, no, not like cognitively. I haven't really experienced anything differently. But I'll tell you, it was one hell of a journey to learn how to do all the things with your other hand. You'd be surprised on how many things that you do with just your dominant hand that you can't do with your other hand.
Right.
And it was challenging, but it was another challenge that I overcame, grew from, got stronger, better, and wiser from. So I welcome all those crazy little things in life.
I love it. Well, this has been a great show today. Thank you so much for being on here, because sometimes we just need to hear somebody else's, story. We need to hear where they're from. We need to hear that I'm not alone. And it's not, there you go. It's not just about me. Yeah. Show the book.
Yes.
I don't know if this is going to be in video or anything, but this is my
Winning Against All Odds.
Winning Against All Odds. Like I said, you can get a free PDF copy if you text Warrior to 55312. But it's on Amazon, on Audible, and paperback. Tells my whole story, and there's a lot of life lessons and self-development that you can implement in your life if you read the book. So I hope you enjoy it if you get a chance.
Yeah, you guys, and you're awesome too. And everybody know that it will be, you can go to thementorsstudio.com. It's in all the show notes. There'll be show notes for the whole show. They'll be his book will be in there, and everything you need to know to get that. So make sure you do, because number one, you're honoring the person who spent time with us to listen. Number two, there's always something in there for you, whatever your background is, wherever you come from, whatever it is you are in your life, there's always something to learn. And so, pick up that book, pick it apart, pick the pieces, maybe start in the middle, right? You never always have to start, but whatever that is for you. And Kevin, you've been a blessing to be on the show today.
Yes, thank you.
We thank you so much. At the Mentor Studio, for those of you who want to know a little more, you can just go to thementorsstudio.com. And by the way, we're rebuilding it right now. So in a week or two, it's going to look totally different. We're going to make it very simple. Basically, page 1 is how to join us and testimonials and people who love us, right? Isn't that great? Page 2 is probably going to be the podcast page, and then we'll have the mentors page. So from myself, the Mentor Studio, Dawna Campbell, my co-host, everybody else, Mary Glorfield, and the rest of the team, we want to thank you so much for being on. Kevin, this has been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see June, right? June in Chicago.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure, Dawna, Michael.
Yes.
Really love being on this podcast. I've been on many, but this was an absolute pleasure. I'm honored to be on the Mentor Studio podcast. And thank you very much for having me as a guest.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
and
you're
thank
welcome.
you for
Stand
saying
for
yes.
me when we say out. But everybody, from myself and the Mentor Studio, wanted to wish you a wonderful day. We have more podcasts coming up on a weekly basis, so make sure you listen to the next show as it drops. And thank you all for being on. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. Goodbye, everybody.
We're honored that you invested time with us today at the Mentor Studio. Now, don't be greedy. Share this knowledge bomb with all your dope peeps on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Actually, we'll even pay you to do it. To get the deets, please check out thementorsstudio.com.